Welcome back. Port operator PSA's new supply chain hub is set to allow Tuas Port to process even larger and higher value cargo like vaccines. Construction has begun on the facility, which will have advanced robotics and upgraded automation features that aim to boost the competitiveness of Singapore's maritime sector. Claudia Lim with more.
Set to be the world's largest fully automated port when completed in the 2040s, Tuas will see a new facility ready in 3 years. The nearly $650 million supply chain hub is meant to replace and expand the current one at Keppel District Park, which will close in 2027. At its groundbreaking ceremony, port operator PSA revealed plans for the facility, which spans about 26 football fields.
We will leverage technology, build world-class infrastructure and cultivate strong partnerships to create the best-in-class supply chain hub. The hub will be a one-stop shop with new capabilities and offers a comprehensive range of services, including cold room with diverse ranges of temperatures suitable for life science and healthcare, food and other temperature-controlled products.
Other plans also include a dangerous goods warehouse and dedicated areas for container and lorry operations to support a wider range of cargo types and real-time tracking. It's not just the new and enhanced systems. The hub, which will sit on this plot of land, will incorporate eco-friendly features like renewable energy sources, drainage systems, and also energy-efficient designs. And that's to meet the global target of net zero emissions by or around 2050. Taken together, these will allow Tuas Port to handle higher value goods and meet environmental goals, preserving Singapore's position as a trusted transshipment hub.
The Port of Singapore is importantly part of the broader manufacturing services and innovation system that we are building. Tuas Port will be the anchor for the future Western Gateway. So there will be synergies with the surrounding industries at Jurong Lake District, Jurong Innovation District, as well as the industrial facilities in the Tuas ecosystem. Together with the rest of our transport infrastructure, Tuas Port will unlock new possibilities for Singapore.
Mr. Wong adds that there will be more developments to Tuas Port in the coming years to ensure that it can serve the largest container vessels and set new standards for innovation, sustainability and connectivity.
And joining me with a deeper look into the new facility is Dave Ng, Chairman of the Singapore Logistics Association. And also with us is Bhavya Kukreti, Managing Director at the Urban Tech City Planning Consultancy, Mindheart Smart and Sustainable Urban Infrastructure Transformation. Thank you both for joining us this evening. Mr. Ng, first of all, how excited is the logistics industry about this new supply chain hub? How much of a difference will it make to the industry?
Well, first of all, the industry is very excited about this new supply chain hub, which is incorporated inside Tuas Port. And that makes a major step for Singapore to stay on the top global logistic hub. And with its new, when it's completion, it will be with automation, data, to help us to make things easier. And also they have even a larger capacity for more cargoes to flow in the port and within the port. And of course, it's a game changer for us. And we anticipated more things to be done, that will help our industry to work closely together and be more efficiently in future.
We know it will be equipped with some of the most cutting-edge technologies, but what would the logistics sector really want to see in this hub?
I think first of all, automation, because we have been gearing up ourselves in the industry with a lot of automation. So we hope to see all this with all the data collected, and then more automation can be done. And of course, on cost saving, because our costs have been escalating. So with the technologies, with automation, all this will drive the cost down so that it can be more competitive in the market. And of course, on the connectivities, with more data, more automation, things can be done more efficiently.
And in terms of the location, Ms. Bhavya, Singapore's east is an aviation hub, and developments in the west, they are shaping the zone into a maritime hub. So how is this shaping up in Tuas Port so far?
It was quite evident. We had a strong base of a strong port linkage, strong geographical location as well. We have strong international ties with global chain as well. And secondly was from the perspective of engineering, we are talking about its capacity to handle the largest container vessels in the world, and its capacity to handle something which is close to 65 million TEU at its peak capacity. I'm excited to share that just in 2023, we were able to handle nearly 40 million TEU on this facility.
That's fantastic.
Yes, and it's commendable because the whole focus is on productivity. It's on automation, as rightly quoted by him. And it is also the way industry, EV, sustainable efforts and digital transformation is taking a good shape in this smart and sustainable futuristic port. So it is going to be the nexus for the epicenter for maritime activities, and it will strongly spur development in Jurong Lake District, Innovation Hub, and the surrounding areas.
Of course, though, it hasn't come without challenges, especially for the global trade environment, Mr. Ng. We saw global supply chain disruptions during COVID-19 and during the tensions at the Red Sea. So to what extent will this new facility be able to weather such disruptions in the future?
I think with the mega port and also the supply chain hub, when this is complete, it will actually significantly improve the supply chain, and we can do a lot of synergies with all the port facilities within the areas, and also flexibilities, because all the facilities are around one another, then they can create synergies with different companies or stakeholders that will make the logistic be more efficient and of course drive down the whole cost. And of course, in terms of sustainability, you will actually have lesser transmission of fuel for transportation of the cargoes. And of course, you benefit the locals and the international players. They will actually enjoy a faster turnaround and better connectivities. And also, with all these strategies, it will boost Singapore logistics and the global trade integration.
The competition is stiff.
Yes.
Ms. Bhavya, many major ports are upgrading their infrastructure. They are offering value-added services.
Yes.
What does this mean, though, for Singapore's port operations in terms of its global standing, and who exactly are its competitors?
So we have been always challenged by the ports like Rotterdam, classically a very famous port destination. It has come up with a lot of automation. It has learned from its mistakes in the past and coming up with a lot of inclusions of future digital transformation activities. It's also working towards the cold chain facilities as well. Shanghai has taken a good shape in a similar focus. The chemical, pharmaceutical industry is looking both at Singapore and Shanghai as well. But what gives us an edge is being one of the smart ports in the world. We are committed to the 2050 net zero carbon emission commitment, but also the turnaround. As he rightly said, till now, many ports are looking at 24 to 48 hours of turnaround. If this could be reduced to 8 to 12 hours in the times to come, and the massive infrastructure to support, and not only consolidation and transshipment, but also redistribution, that would be our major success over here. And I think with the robotics part, with the drone maintenance facilities, we are coming with massive health and safety measures, committed to electrifying our infrastructure and minimizing the dangerous jobs for the human resource.
Are there certain sectors that are likely to benefit more than others?
Absolutely. I think pharmaceutical sector, high-end manufacturing and robotics and research and development would see a major spur in this area. You're coming very close to the industry, the consolidation industry or distribution sector. We are talking about 4PL to 7PL logistics providers and understanding the need of data analytics, how this data can be churned out for valuable information. The NTU and the surrounding R&D hub can be very closely linked to it and leverage on this knowledge.
And before we go, very quickly, Mr. Ng, what is the one thing that you would like this new PSA supply chain to have?
We wish that more data can be shared and more synergy to be formed, and so that more local companies can enjoy the network that they have, and we can actually work together in the near future.
All right, and this, Ms. Bhavya, what about you?
I come from an infrastructure and smart city or sustainable team. So we are committed to net zero, and we would love to see the integrated transport infrastructure development over here, more of net zero and super low energy buildings in the near future, but most importantly, the use of AI and transforming the industry to leverage on AI and showing to the world that how we could be the most optimal operation in the world.
All right, the state-of-the-art facility is scheduled to be ready by 2027.
Yes.
So we wish you all the best. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. That was Dave Ng, Chairman of the Singapore Logistics Association, and Bhavya Kukreti, MD at Meinhardt Suit.
PSA International Chairman and CEO, distinguished guests and excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. 5 years ago, we launched the development works for Tuas Port. 2 years ago, we officially opened Tuas Port. Today, I am happy to be here at Tuas for the first time to break ground for the construction of the PSA Supply Chain Hub. The Supply Chain Hub marks another milestone in our multi-decade project of developing Tuas Port. It underscores PSA's commitment to providing customers with best-in-class service, and it also signals Singapore's wider commitment to meet the needs of a rapidly changing global trading environment. The port is critical to Singapore and to the lives and livelihoods of all Singaporeans. It connects Singapore to the world, to resources, to markets, and to global trade. The Port of Singapore is connected to over 600 seaports across 120 countries. We are an international maritime center and the focal point for some 200 shipping groups. The port also provides good jobs across the maritime ecosystem, which includes everything from logistics and energy trading to insurance and shipping law. And the maritime sector in turn facilitates and drives the growth of many other parts of our economy. Our founding leaders and pioneers had the foresight to take advantage of Singapore's strategic location at the crossroads of East and West, and they built world-class port infrastructure and consistently upgraded it over the decades. Today, we reap the benefits of these investments. We are the busiest transshipment container port in the world, accounting for 1/7 of global transshipment volumes. The port handles an average of 120,000 vessel calls, from tankers and bulk carriers to container vessels and ferries, adding up to a combined tonnage of over 3 billion gross tons annually. All that happening in our little red dot. It's quite an achievement. Our actions over the decades have also consistently reinforced Singapore's reputation for trust and reliability, and we saw this during the COVID-19 pandemic. Many ports elsewhere were closed, while those that remained open experienced severe delays and congestion. We stayed open 24/7. We continued to turn around cargo, including containers, providing much-needed connectivity to the world, and ensuring that critical goods, including vaccines, arrived on our shores and reached other countries. We facilitated crew changes when other countries were initially unwilling to, while keeping public health safeguards in place. And this allowed ships to sail, cargo to move, and seafarers to return home. And in doing so, we contributed to the stability of global supply chains and demonstrated the value of users to users of shipping goods through Singapore. Now, our port is doing better than ever. Container throughput continued to rise during the COVID pandemic and reached a record high of 39 million 20-foot equivalent units or TEUs last year. In the first 9 months of this year, container throughput has risen further, as have vessel arrivals and bunker volumes. This year, we hope to cross 40 million TEUs. So well done, Maritime Singapore and PSA. We have achieved much together, but we all know that we cannot take success for granted. The long arc of global history is full of stories of ports that have flourished and thrived for decades, only to decline amidst changing circumstances. You can just read the stories yourself. If I mention any particular port, I think I might get into diplomatic troubles. The lesson is that we cannot be complacent. Moreover, unlike ports in countries with large production and consumption bases, we have no hinterland of our own. So we must remain plugged into global supply chains so that ships, be it container vessels, tankers, or bulk carriers, will continue to call in our waters, and everyone around the world will see value in connecting with Singapore. And that means we must continually invest not just in the Port of Singapore, but also in value-added capabilities so that we can keep on adapting and staying abreast of changing trends. One major trend is the growing scale of shipping. Shipping is becoming supersized. Ships are growing bigger. The early container ships in the 50s could carry 500 to 800 containers. Now they can carry up to 25,000 containers. Shipping alliances are growing bigger. And these alliances have been a feature of the industry for decades, but now large alliances are becoming mega alliances. And that means two things for us. First, ports need to have extensive infrastructure and capabilities to handle large ships efficiently, as well as a large number of containers on these ships. Second, ports must demonstrate value add to shipping alliances to attract the large fleets of vessels they operate. The major alliances today hold over 80% of the world's container shipping capacity. Changes in their service networks could significantly affect traffic to hubs like Singapore. And we also know that competition is getting fiercer and more intense. Major ports like Shanghai, Ningbo, Zhoushan, and Rotterdam are upgrading their infrastructure to service larger vessels and to attract these mega alliances. They are offering value-added services beyond just moving containers. They have cold storage facilities, regional distribution centers to help customers deal with more complex and volatile supply chains. So we too will have to sharpen our competitive edge to remain the preferred port of call. That's why we are expanding our capacity to meet the demands of the shipping industry. When fully completed in the 2040s, Tuas Port will be the world's largest fully automated port, capable of handling 65 million TEUs annually. This is almost double what all our ports handle currently. And with this capacity, Tuas Port will serve even more of the world's largest container vessels, alliances, and shipping lines. And we will be able to handle increasingly complex and voluminous transactions with efficiency and precision. The PSA supply chain hub, which we are groundbreaking today, will also further improve Tuas Port's competitiveness by enhancing our ability to handle cargo shipments, not just containers, but shipments. Because today we move many containers from ship to ship. We do this efficiently, we do this well. But businesses may not always need to move full containers of cargo. Some may want to consolidate their cargoes to make full containers before shipping them onwards. This is more time and cost efficient than waiting to accumulate a full container of cargo. Conversely, there's also a need to deconsolidate cargoes so that there's less than container loads of cargo can be processed and distributed. Currently, Keppel District Park specializes in the consolidation, deconsolidation, and distribution of such cargoes. But Keppel District Park will close by 2027 as part of the shift to Tuas. And that's why we have this supply chain hub. It will expand the capacity currently available at Keppel District Park and allow us to attract more trade flows, including those seeking cargo management services, not just container services. And as you heard from the chairman just now, the supply chain hub will introduce new capabilities not currently available at Keppel District Park and differentiate itself from its peers in other ports through technology. This includes facilities to process cargo in cold storage and to handle dangerous or delicate goods. These facilities will allow the supply chain hub to process higher value cargo, like pharmaceuticals, which require temperature-controlled storage, and chemicals, which require specialized handling. Currently, businesses that want such services have to truck their cargoes out of the port, incurring duties, and then truck it back to the port for shipping again. This takes time, and it adds up to additional costs. So the supply chain hub will provide all these new capabilities under one roof, within the same free trade zone, so businesses can enjoy value-added services faster and more seamlessly. We want businesses to use Tuas Port as a convenient and efficient one-stop shop, not only for their physical goods, but also as a control tower to manage their inventory and global supply chain flows. For its part, the government will help to ensure that cargoes and vessels move on time and on schedule. In particular, to deal with the increased complexity of maritime activities, MPA is developing new systems to enhance navigational safety and improve operational efficiency within the Singapore Strait and our port waters. We will have improved abilities to anticipate potential disruptions and hazards and to manage incidents. The Port of Singapore is importantly part of the broader manufacturing services and innovation system that we are building. Tuas Port will be the anchor for the future Western Gateway, so there will be synergies with the surrounding industries at Jurong Lake District, Jurong Innovation District, as well as the industrial facilities in the Tuas ecosystem. Together with the rest of our transport infrastructure, Tuas Port will unlock new possibilities for Singapore. An integral part of our longer-term competitiveness is to ensure sustainable operations. And that means we are also taking seriously our responsibilities to meet the IMO's target of net zero emissions by or around 2050. We are preparing for a multi-fuel future involving cleaner maritime fuels. We are supporting ammonia and methanol bunkering fuel operations to help develop procedures and standards for the safe use of these new fuels. And we are contributing to IMO discussions on global bunkering, safety and training standards for cleaner marine fuels and energy efficiency measures to cut emissions from international shipping. We have also set up green and digital shipping corridors with Australia, China, Japan, the Netherlands, and the US to test green and digital solutions before scaling them up. These moves, led by MPA and its partners, will significantly enhance our ability to serve the changing needs of industry and preserve our position as a trusted node in global supply chains. All that I have just described, our ability to do all that, ultimately depends on the people who are part of our team Maritime Singapore. All of you here in this hall and many other partners and stakeholders. You have proven time and again that you are resilient in the face of headwinds and flexible to adapt to changing winds. We will continue to invest in a strong pipeline of maritime talent in Singapore. Invest in people who appreciate our precious heritage, our unique circumstances, and our abilities to work together as one team to take our port and our nation forward. Recently, when the conflict in the Middle East disrupted shipping through the Red Sea, it created port congestion around the world, including in Singapore. Our workers, our unions, working together with PSA, MPA, and the Transport Ministry came together to ramp up capacity. They opened new berths so that more containers and vessels could be handled. They not only worked harder, but also smarter to optimize processes and to do more in less time. And all this ensured that businesses and consumers in Singapore were well shielded from supply shortages and disruptions seen elsewhere. That is the critical ingredient behind our success. It's our people and our ability to work together as tripartite partners to achieve win-win outcomes for all. This spirit of solidarity has enabled us in Singapore to overcome multiple challenges in the past. It has helped us to enable workers to reskill and upskill and update and stay updated to new technologies to ensure that everyone benefits as we grow and transform the maritime industry together. Tuas Port is a multi-generational project. By now, we have opened 10 berths. Today, we are starting work on the supply chain hub for PSA. But we are not done yet. There will be many more developments in the coming years to ensure that Tuas Port can continue to serve the largest container vessels and orchestrate end-to-end supply chain solutions. We aim for Tuas Port to be the port of the future, setting new standards for innovation, sustainability, and connectivity. Working together, I am confident we will remain at the forefront of international shipping, and we will keep our port city of Singapore a thriving hub for many more decades to come. Thank you very much.